Hey, y'all. Thank you all for tuning in. Hello, everybody. Thank you all for tuning in. This is my Lunch and Learn workshop. I want to make sure that you all, of course, saw what was going on. There's a workshop today. Of course, this workshop today is talking about letting go, just to let you all know. So this is workshop 1 of 3. Just to let you all know, today we're talking about 5 tips. In the next 2 videos, we'll talk about 5 tips as well when it comes to letting go. I know we all have an issue when it comes to letting go. The issue is usually our emotions are so attached to whoever it is or whatever it is that it, of course, takes a toll on us. Going back and forth, should I let this go? Should I do this? Should I do that? But like I said, hopefully these 5 tips that I go over with you today will give you some insight on how to better let go. I guess I put it that way because I know some folks say it's not possible, but it definitely is possible. Just know that, y'all. You can do anything that you put your mind to, and if this is something that you're wanting to do, let go of a past challenge, past trauma, person, place, or thing, whatever it is, you can definitely do so. Everybody can do so. So let's go ahead and get on to the first tip. And actually, you know what? Yeah, well, I do want to read this quote because this quote I actually talked about in the first introductory video. If you haven't seen that, make sure that you scroll down the page and find that. It's the intro to letting go. But I just want to read this quote again. To let go does not mean to get rid of. To let go means to let be. When we let be with compassion, things come and go on their own. And that was by Jack Kornfield. So now let's get into the first of the 5 tips on letting go. Number 1. Understand that the relationship you thought you'd have is going to be different than the one you actually have. Like I said, we have to start accepting things as they are. It is what it is what I put down here as well. So I'm looking at my notes. And like I said, I know a lot of times that we, of course, are in relationships with somebody and our people, whoever it is, a relationship with our city, our town, our state, or our house, or whatever person, place, or thing that you have a relationship with. Just realize that we have all these expectations of how the relationship should look. I'll just use the relationship for an example. But we have all these expectations of how a relationship should look. But when we get into that relationship, it does not turn out the way that we think. And like I said, that happens all the time. And like I said, we have to get it in our mind that we cannot hold all those expectations of the past relationships and the hurt that you had back then and hold it to this one person in this relationship that you're now creating. Like I said, there will be grounds for heartbreak. I guess I put it that way. You have to realize that everybody's not going to be your past. Everybody's not going to be the situations that happened to you long ago. They're not going to be that. Like I said, accept things as they are. That's the hardest thing for us to do because, and speaking for myself as well, wanting to control things and want things your way and my way or the highway and all these types of things. Like I said, they only can work so long. Just keep that in mind. That can only work for so long. Like I said, we have to accept things as they are. We have a fantasy in our head sometimes. We're dating and trying to get to know people and, oh, this man or this woman is going to be like this. And, oh, I can't wait till we get into bed. And, oh, I can't wait till our next date and all these things. Then it comes to, that was your last date. This person no longer wants to be with or go on another date. Excuse me, then we're heartbroken. Like I said, we definitely have to realize that we have to accept things as they are. I know that's hard to hear when it comes to letting go, and especially when it comes to relationships and especially romantic relationships and family as well. But like I said, we have to accept things as they are. Like I said, we have to understand that the relationship you thought you'd have is going to be different than the one you actually have. Like I said, we have to realize that. And like I said, that's one of the hardest things when it comes to letting go, because we have all these expectations of how things should be and how you want it, but it may not turn out that way. So like I said, we have to let go sometimes, actually a lot of times, of those expectations. Number 2, don't be invested in the outcome when it comes to dealing with people, because it often leads to disappointment. And I know I just spoke on that a little bit when I was talking about the expectations and those kind of things. Just keep in mind, like I said before, the same thing. You can have all these expectations that you want, but just keep in mind that it's going to play out as it is. I guess I put it that way. And like I said, we can't be so invested in those expectations and outcomes and, oh, this person I just met, we're going to get married next year and all this kind of stuff. You cannot be invested in the outcome. Just go with the flow. I guess I put it that way. You never know what may come up in that relationship. Like I said, you definitely have to go with the flow, because if not, it will lead to disappointment most times. You get into a new relationship and you love this person, your feelings are all over the place and you can't wait to see him or her and that kind of thing. You want to get married and have kids. That person may not even have that in their, as a goal in the relationship. And we sometimes, especially as women, jump the gun sometimes too early in the relationship, not knowing what this other person even expects of us or even want from us. They could just want sex and companionship and that's it. But we're thinking this person is just the bomb and, oh my God, I love him or her and all this kind of stuff. And I want to get married to him or her because some of the things that they may have said to you. Just keep in mind that we cannot have all those expectations going into, we can have those as our goals, yes. And if you're talking to this person, getting to know this person, they're giving you answers that you don't like and that they only want companionship, that they're not looking for marriage, then you have to let go and move on. Like I said, that's what it means by don't be so invested in the outcome when it comes to dealing with people, because it often leads to a disappointment. That's what I mean by that. We're so invested in the outcome of getting married. But then when it don't happen, we're disappointed and upset. Did you look at the red flags when you were talking to this person, when they said they didn't want nothing but companionship? But in your mind, it's expecting to get married and you love this person and your feelings are all over the place and you want sex and all this kind of stuff. You have to take a step back sometimes in order to start letting things go. Like I said, that's one of the things that I've noticed, especially when it comes to romantic relationships. We jump too far ahead, have all these expectations of what we want, but not listening to what the other person is wanting. Like I said, that will definitely lead to disappointment. Just keep that in mind when it comes to letting go. 3, don't live in chains when you have the key. We live with self-limiting beliefs that we let define who we are. A lot of times, this can go on for hours as I can talk about this. But just realize that we all have self-limiting beliefs that we, of course, let take over our lives. I'll use the relationships for an example again. When it comes to relationships and I can just put, let me see, all men are dogs, so I don't want one. I'll never date. I'll never find love. All those types of beliefs. That's limiting yourself because you had people in the past who may have cheated on you or did all these things to you, abuse or whatever it was. That does not mean that everybody is going to be that way. Those are the chains that I'm talking about when I'm talking about lifting those chains and getting rid of those chains. Those are things that we have to let go at some point. If you're wanting to have a marriage, a loving relationship, trying to, of course, date and have a partner, all these things, you have to realize that if you're keeping yourself locked in, as far as in that same mindset, this is all talking about mindset, in that same mindset that all men are dogs or women are dogs or they all cheat or they're all abusive because of that's been your past, you're going to constantly have that in your relationships until you change it. That's what I mean by don't live in chains when you have the key. You have the key to all these things. You have the key to unlock your limiting beliefs about how you feel about the other sex or whoever you're trying to date, your next partner. You have the key for that. The other person does not. You're the one who put it in your mind that all men are dogs, all women are dogs, that they're all going to cheat on you and do all these things. You're the one that has that in your mind. So you're the one who has to let that go and get rid of it. Nobody else does at all. That's why I say that you have the key. You don't have to live like that if you don't want to live like that. That's a choice that you are making because of whatever your past history, traumas, and dramas and your story is. That's the story that you created to, of course, keep yourself locked in. So when you're thinking about the next partner, the next day, you already have in your mind, this won't work out. He's a dog. I can tell by what he said. My past partner said this and he cheated. You never know how folks may feel, what folks are going through in the side of their head until you honestly get to know them. And by you judging that person at that first date saying that he sounds like he's a dog and this kind of thing, you never know. You have to give people time as well. But like I said, and you have to also, like I said, give yourself time to clear that mindset. Everybody's not like everybody you've dated in the past. Maybe it's just the people that you're attracted to. I guess I put it that way. Something about them that you have to figure out what that pattern is. But usually, like I said, you have to work on yourself in order to clear those things. That's the part of letting go all those limiting beliefs when it comes to that. And if you don't, you're going to have the same exact situation happening every Tom, Dick, and Harry that you meet. That's how that goes until you unlock it and let go of it. Number 4, let go of the idea that you can control others' actions. We only have control over ourselves and how we act. That's something that I had to deal with as well. And I still work on sometimes. I know I can just go on and tell people what to do and all this kind of stuff. But I have to realize that everybody may not even be on the same level as I am. And that I cannot control them to make them do anything I want them to do. They will do it in their own time. I'll give you for an example, my last partner. I was the one that was changing, doing all these things, growing, trying to move forward, trying to have a better life, more peace, more freedom and that kind of thing. And he, of course, was not the one that he was the person that was not trying to move forward at all because of whatever traumas and dramas he had been through in the past. And I knew that. But like I said, I'm constantly trying to change him and tell him what to do and tell him how to do it. You can look up these videos or look at my video or sit here on this live and listen to what I got to say, this kind of thing, trying to change this man. And like I said, I had to realize that that's the second time in a relationship that I tried to do that. I had to realize that that person was not for me. And I either had to let them go or live in that misery, I guess I put it that way, for the next 7.5 years. We were together actually 7.5 years. And I did put up with that. That was fine. Like I said, that's a lesson that I had to learn. Again, that I cannot control anybody else but myself. If I'm the one that's changing, I'm the one that's doing things, I'm the one trying to move ahead, have a better life, and he's not, then I have to decide whether I'm going to let him go or stay stuck in that relationship, living like I was in misery or whatever, unhappy. I have to realize that. And that's something that we have to think about when it comes to letting go. We cannot control nobody else. Like I said, I'm still working on that. But like I said, definitely that is something that I have to realize and that you have to realize. You cannot force somebody to love you or force somebody to marry you, force somebody to have a relationship with you, force somebody to have kids with you, force somebody to do anything unless they want to. So number 5, this is the final one. Only worry about what you think of yourself. I know we have to let go of what everybody else thinks about us a lot of times. If not, you're going to be living for those people, living that they called you whores or whatever it is. I don't know, whatever it is. Or you can't do anything. You can't never move ahead. Or you always going to be poor. Whatever it is, whatever the names that they call you, you do not have to answer to those names. Only worry about what you think about yourself. I talked about that this morning as well in my car chronicle. If you haven't seen that, check it out on my regular Facebook page or on YouTube, either one. But we have to realize that we cannot worry about what everybody else thinks about us. That keeps us stuck a lot of time. That's another limiting belief in my eyes. That will keep you stuck for the rest of your life. Oh, this person says I can't do this. And oh, this person thinks I can't do this. But if you know deep down in your heart and your mind and your soul that you can do whatever it is you put your mind to, then think that only. Like I said, you don't have to live according to everybody else's thoughts about you. I know a lot of us don't want to hear that. But you cannot continue to do that. You're going to live an unhappy life. I can tell you that from experience. You're going to live a very unhappy life if you're living your life for what your parents want you to be, or from what your partner wants you to be, or from what your kids want you to be, or your friends want you to be, even your employer wants you to be. If you're not happy doing the things that you're doing, the heart, mind, body, and soul, and something is not something is not connecting with you in those places, then you have to let go of something. It's either those people, those things, those whatever it is, or let go of yourself and just do what everybody else tells you to do. You have to decide that. You only should be worrying about yourself and how you think about yourself. Like I said, that's the 5th and last one. Like I said, I know a lot of these are probably hard for you to hear, but these are in my eyes, these are the truth. And from what I went through and what I know about life and that kind of thing, this is what I'm still continuing to go through and continuing to see in many of the clients that I'm working with. And like I said, we have to realize that everything does not have to be a big to-do in order to let something go. You're going to let small things go, even if it's, like I said, listening to your parents, all their thoughts about you and all those kind of things, and you're tired of living up under their rule, I guess I put it that way. They're ruling your life, running your life, but you know that you want to do something different, then you could always let that go. But like I said, there's always consequences behind everything that we do, good or bad. I want to say that too before I end this video, because some folks think, oh, I can just go and do this, go and do that. But just remember that there's always consequences, good or bad, behind everything that you let go and every choice and decision that we make. But like I said, you're the one who has to decide that, what you're going to do with this situation, person, place, or thing. You have to decide that when it comes to letting go. Nobody should have to tell you that you should let go of this and let go of that. If something don't feel right with you, then you know something is wrong. If something is constantly chaotic and constantly you're having arguments in this relationship, then you have a choice to make. Yes, I might sit down and talk to the person. Yes, figure out what I can figure out. But if that person's not trying to budge at all, then you have a choice to make. And like I said, letting go of anything, that choice is always yours. So like I said, I definitely want to end this video. Like I said, this is the first 5 tips of letting go. This is part 1 of 3. And just keep in mind that this video will not live on social media forever. This video will be taken down by the end of this series. And we'll be put into a small mini course, I guess I put it that way, for you all to, of course, purchase afterwards. So it's better that you, of course, look at these videos now in order to get the free information before you have to pay a little investment in order to get these videos later. So I'm just letting y'all know this. So like I said, the link that's in the description of the video, any workshops that I do, workshop series, you'll find all those workshop series within that link in the description of this video. Just keep that in mind, y'all. So I'll join y'all next week or come soon on the next Lunch and Learn so that you all can, of course, hear the rest of the other 10 tips, I guess I put it that way. Like I said, this is video 1 of 3. Each video will have 5 videos in there. And like I said, these videos about letting go will help you figure out how to, and help you figure out and and tell you that it's okay to let go of some of these things. All of these things, actually. But you have to want to believe that within yourself. I can sit here and plant these seeds, but you have to be the one to, of course, take the action and do whatever it is necessary in order to let go of whatever you need to let go in your life for peace, happiness, and love to, of course, come back in. So with that, again, I'm Tonetta Clay, your certified life coach, here to, of course, help inspire you to think bigger and to empower you to become who you are. So with that, I'll see y'all in the next part 2 series. Thank you. Bye-bye.